Hello, everybody. Mike from Southern California again, and you're on the mic. So earlier today, I was, going through some of my subscriptions, catching up on some of my YouTube subscriptions, and as I was watching Cord Crimson's video from yesterday, I started thinking about something that something that he did on his video in which he spelled out a particular word much in the same way that Tug's been doing it. And I was starting to think about the whole P to the E to the D to the O kind of thing. I was starting to think about something a bit. You know, I know because of the fact on many social media platforms, Twitter, YouTube, there does seem to be some censorship going on in terms of what certain particular words may get flagged, may get videos well, for those who are, of course, monetizing their videos, demonetized, And I know how, a lot of times people to try to get around that, well, they may not say, they either will avoid saying the word altogether or they'll just like spell it. And it reminds me of something because, I have a friend of mine, probably one of my best friends, if not my best friend, had like a 4-year-old son, right? And so he's at that age where he'll repeat just about anything that anybody says. A lot of kids out there do. And as I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking like about Tug in particular. I know he's the father of some young kids. I know we have some other YouTubers who are fathers as well. I'm starting to think about how oftentimes, um, how oftentimes when we don't want them being exposed to certain like words, how we'll get around it by spelling them out. You know, or maybe we'll use a euphemism or another word altogether. But if we're still trying to get the point across. But yeah, I was just thinking about that. As I was watching Korg's videos, and I started thinking back over like what Tug and many other YouTubers have had to do in terms of that. And all that, and it just kind of makes you wonder, especially when getting the back and forth with SJWs, NPCs, kickbackers, however you want to describe them. We get into the back and forth, and you come to the point where you realize you can't reason with them. Sometimes it's better to not even talk to them at all because it's just going to give you a headache. But the part I'm focusing on right now is you know just how we got to the point where we're censoring so much that we got to actually to get around certain censorship issues. We actually have to spell out words. It's like what you do with little kids when you don't want them exposed to like certain nasty words or whatever. And considering their thought process, considering how we just seem to be um, dancing around a lot of these issues, I kind of left to wonder: is social media really run? You almost have to wonder if social media is run by children. You know, is social media, is Twitter, YouTube, are these platforms run by children where they can't actually handle the actual full word, where we actually have to spell out words for them? Where we risk insulting people so much that, oh, we better spell that out. It's kind of comical, because I know Tug does it a lot when he has to talk about it, and he has to, And the thing is too is that here's the thing: a lot of times the people are these are not necessarily original quotes either. It's not like any people on Kick Vic, and I've kind of done so jokingly, regards to like Duchette, just because of his obsession with that one video clip of Vic and the little girl in the Wonder Woman costume. But none of us have seriously called out, with maybe the exception of L.J. Montello because of what has happened there. But none of us has really gone out outright, just pointed the finger at somebody and called them, a pedophile. Okay. But it's just interesting how these people like to stifle conversation, and we're to the point where we actually have to, there's certain like bad words that we don't want, that we wouldn't want necessarily kids to hear. So we got to sit there and spell out the word, spell out part of the word. I mean, seriously. Yeah, and of course, one of the other things that I'm also referring to is what's been going on with Hero Hay, since he decided to cover, and of course others have gotten involved now. Yellow Flash and Tug as well has gotten involved in the coverage of the, I guess, season 4 of My Hero Academia, where somebody complained about sudden increase in a girl's breast size. You know, so who cares? They put it. You know, it's like I look at all this. I look at how many of these SJWs, NPCs, kick Vic. I look at how they behave, and I'm reminded of that. I'm reminded of a scene from A League of Their Own. If anybody's ever watched that movie, it was basically a movie about a women's baseball league that started up during World War II, when many of the major league players had gone to serve their country in the war. Um, Starred Gina Davis, Tom Hanks, and Lori Petty. Lori Petty, of course, who went on to voice Livewire in the Superman, the animated series um, cartoon as well. But as I'm thinking about all this, I'm thinking about how like we're getting to the point where we're actually having to spell out undesirable words. I'm reminded, and how, of course, how Kick Vic behaves too, how they behave, their reasoning. I'm reminded of the scene of the kid, basically the son of Evelyn Gardner's son. It's like, and I'm sure particularly parents have seen this with their own kids. It's like, yeah, I gotta live, yeah, I gotta live, yeah, stay, yeah, stay. I mean, seriously, anybody who's ever talked to Kid Vic, have you ever wondered if that's like what you're dealing with? Seriously? Think about it. I mean, when we think about how I mean, we know we're not, we're gotten to the point where we know we're not going to change our minds. I think at this point, not many more we're going to really change their minds. Okay. But all these SJWs and all these NPCs and all these kick Vickers and all these people on Law Twitter, they're kind of starting to remind me of that kid from that movie. You know. Now, yes, I know. Over the years we've seen that TV show, kids say the damnedest thing. Well, I mean, something. I'd almost have to argue that social media at times says the damnedest things. And when we're dealing with like the social justice warriors and the NPCs and the kick Vickers, after a while you have to sit back and laugh, because it's like you're dealing with that little kid from that movie I was just talking about. It's like, yeah, I gotta live, yeah, I gotta live, yeah, stay, yeah, stay. That's what kick Vick is really starting to look like to me. I'm sure many of you too, if you really sit back and think about it. Anyways, as I said before, the best way to deal with them is just not to really give them I mean, yes, sometimes they are seriously trying to do something, like if they're really seriously trying to interfere with like convention stuff, then yeah, call them out on that behavior. But at this point, getting into Twitter fights with these clowns isn't even worth it. It's borderline ridiculous. It's kind of it's like kind of like what Yellow Flash and Tug have decided to do. Is just when they really start sounding and acting stupid, it's just um sometimes it's just better to just sit back and monetize them, make fun of them. You know, just show everybody just how or as a term I started using after DNA Crow's video. Um, um, you know, just sitting back there and just highlighting the stupid, because that's what it comes down to. It's like, I know right now, okay, we just heard that Vic is going to appeal. Um, I'm guessing probably by the end of next week, they'll have the paperwork filed. Um, so we're just, again, sitting back and waiting now again. And of course, since there's nothing really happening in the case, sometimes there's a lot of pent up stuff, pent up anxiety, pent up frustration, pent up energy that, okay, you don't know what to deal with, because we spent all this energy on Vic, on his case, and standing with him, and now all of a sudden things are kind of at a standstill and everybody's just sitting and waiting. It's like, the best thing to do is just move on. Get outside, go for a walk, take a break. Read a good book. For those Christians out there, maybe read the good book. You know, um, but live your life. Don't let don't let this stuff consume you so much that it drives you nuts, because it's ultimately, there'll come a point in time when all this will come to an end. Things will be resolved, and hopefully, I don't know if the rift will ever be the same, but as long as we stand up for what's right and what's true, we'll get through it. So, with all that being said, you guys can check the links below. If you want to contact me directly, my Twitter handle will be down there. You can direct message me, or you can comment on my tweets, or on the videos. As you guys can also see, promoting a bunch of dub companies. Because always remember, Funimation is not the only game in town, folks. Other dub companies, other voice actors and actresses out there who I'm sure would love for you to show them your appreciation. And the best way to do that, of course, is to contact your local cons, and in a very peaceful and respectful manner, ask for them to invite these other voice actors and actresses. If you've caught any of my work, any of my voice actor profiles, if let's say you caught Jay Hickman's, and you've watched some of the animes he's involved in, and you figure, hey, Jay, he seems like a cool guy. He seems like a good voice actor. I want to see him at a con. Just let your local con know. Hey, I would really love to see, email them or contact them, however best, to appropriately ask them, ask their cons. Hey, I'd like to see, Jay Hickman there, or I'd like to see Caroline Day there, or I'd like to see, the Fawn family there, Dorothy, Melissa, Jonathan, and Tom. It's like whoever. that so just keep that in mind, folks. Also, of course, I'm still promoting the GoFundMe's. As always, guys, never feel like you have to donate because nobody wants to see you go bankrupt. If you're able to, and it's on your heart to, please consider donating, as long as it's within your means, of course. If you have donated already, please consider donating again. And if you can't donate, you can still help everything out by sharing the GoFundMe. You know, discussing this with your peers and stuff like that, with those around you. You know, you never know. Maybe there's somebody in your network of friends who might see this and say, "Hey, you know something? Yeah, you're right. This guy Vic, he's getting a shot here. I want to help out." You know, you never know. And if you like this content, please consider liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. Um, I will generally always get back to you on it. Generally reply to you. Um, as long, of course, it's respectful, and you know, again, I'm not, I probably shouldn't have to tell you guys this because I think most of you, have gotten the point. So, and I think we can still keep a civil conversation going. So, with that being said, as I said, if you like the content, please consider liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And let's keep the conversation going because you know something? You're on the mic, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.